Off receiving formation. He holds the NFL record, actually is tied with a couple of other guys for the longest kickoff return in NFL history. 106 yards against the Dallas Cowboys several years ago. This kick a little short. Green 10, 15, 20. Out to the 30, drops the ball.
Took a Cardinal bounce there. That could have been a setback. Get the momentum going for the Redskins in good field position, but fortunately it was fallen on, if you're a Cardinal fan, by a linebacker, Charlie Baker.
Baker coming up with a big play, and the Cardinals retain possession.
I think Stump Mitchell's got a pinched nerve in his neck, Frank, and they probably won't play him the rest of the day, but he should be all right in the future.
Roger was asking about Pat Tilley, and we did check into the status of the Cardinal Pro Bowl wide receiver, and he had back spasms in the first half, and that's the reason we didn't see much of him. Injury time out here, and the man injured is Roy Green.
He got popped, and it was hit in the head when he fumbled, so and he's holding his head right now, so hopefully he'll be okay, but he took a real shot.
Cardinals going to wind up a little short of kick returners here with Stump Mitchell already out of the game, and Green, who is their number 2 kick returner, and of course also a starter at offensive end and occasionally works in the secondary as well. Up on his feet, looks like he's all right. We'll be back in just a moment.
Instead of moving down to get better mileage, maybe you should move up to Cadillac. A 1982 V8 diesel-powered Cadillac, a Fleetwood Brougham, or a DeVille, an Eldorado, or a Seville. You don't have to give up room and comfort like this to get good mileage. The V8 diesel-powered Cadillacs, whichever model you choose.
Best of all, it's a Cadillac.
Roy Green on the sideline shaking off the cobwebs. And the Cardinals have a 1st and 10 at their 27-yard line as we start the second half of play. They have a 9-point advantage. Wayne Morris on the carry. Out to the 30 for a pickup of 3 yards on the play. Neil Okowitz, number 52, the Redskin middle linebacker, making the stop.
Well, they can't afford to lose Green. He's caught 3 passes, 108 yards, and with Tilley hurting, that leaves Fisher and Dave Steve, number 84, as the wide receivers. Fisher.
The hand is for Stump Mitchell, who's come out of the locker room and is walking back on the bench. And apparently he's going to play some more. 2nd down 7. Cardinals from their 30. Anderson out to the 31-yard line. He does not seem to be running as hard as we have seen him run in the past.
Well, he's picking his way in there, and there's not much room. Dave Butts is doing an excellent job. He's a big man in there. He fills up that middle pretty well. He can mostly handle everyone man to man, and there's Stump on the sideline, and they're double teaming Dave, and he's still holding his ground in that middle.
3rd down coming up for the St. Louis Cardinals. They need a long 5 for the 1st down with the ball at the 31-yard line. Willard Harrell in motion. He just came in on this play. Out to Anderson, 30, 35. Nice tackle by Murphy, but not before he picked up the 1st down at the 41-yard line.
Hey, good news from the Cardinal bench on Roy Green. He's doing fine. He's healthy. With the blitz here, it put Murphy man-to-man on Anderson, who was going all the way across the backfield. Murphy had to come back and couldn't get over there quick enough. It's a good concept by the Cardinals, sending him across the backfield, knowing Murphy had to get over there, and they needed the 1st down. He got 8 or 9 yards, and Murphy made a fine catch. Or Anderson, they had more room down the sideline.
Cardinals 1st and 10 at their 41. They lead 26-17. They trailed at the quarter 10-9. Moved in front with a big 17-point second period. Anderson again trying to pick his way through. Gets out to the 42-yard line, maybe the 43. Pickup of 2 in the play. Anderson getting up a little slowly.
Got the Bostic brothers. Joe's playing right guard for the Cardinals, and Jeff, the center for the Redskins. Here's Joe, 71, trying to get a block on Malott, number 57. Malott holds his ground, does a good job, turns the play inside, which he's supposed to do, and then the pursuit picks up Anderson right here. Malott is a tough linebacker. He's had a sore shoulder, but he's playing well today.
Roy Green is back in the offensive lineup for the Cardinals on 2nd and 9. Hart going to the sidelines, and Green pulls it down. Out of bounds at the 50. Just short of the first down.
Hart put this right out in front. Green was working on Lavender, number 20, and he's got excellent quickness and good hands. He broke it off just short of the first down. He really, with more experience, would have got another yard to get that first down, but he made the catch and sets up a 3rd and 1. Here's Hart back. He drills it out right out in front where you have to have it. Lavender was pretty good position, but Green made a nice catch and fell short of the first down by a yard.
3rd down and 1. Nose of the ball just over the 50-yard line. Jim Hart feeds it to Anderson. And he should have the first at the 49, but not much more.
Well, Carl Lurch, number 71, forced the issue right there. He had good penetration. That time Anderson showed some quickness. He knew he had a yard to go, and he got down low and ducked his way inside and got the first down. It looked tough right here. Lurch, 71, does a good job, forces him outside, but then he sees the little crack, and he gets the first down.
And that's all he needed. So it should be another first down for the Cardinals. However, they will measure just to be sure. Doesn't seem to be much question from this angle, but angles can be deceiving. By a little more than a length of the ball. You know, Green continues to amaze me as O.J. limps off the field there, gets a rest. A lot of coaches say you put your best athletes on defense, but Green has showed such great hands. You wonder why they haven't given him a shot at wide receiver before. He looks like another Tilly.
Well, of course, Cardinals have had Mel Gray, the quick wide receiver. He's been hurt, and due to the problems at wide receiver, and of course Tilly's been hurt today, that they needed Green in there to give a deep threat. They've had no deep threat without Mel Gray.
1st and 10. Cardinals at the Redskin 48-yard line. Wayne Morris caught by Butts. Never got off the dime. Bacon was there as well, but Butts making his presence felt in the center of that defensive line.
Butts is a ball player, I'll tell you that. He's rugged in there. He's big, and he's played well the last few years, and he's been the heart and soul of this defensive line that the Redskins have put together. With Mendenhall, they have high hopes for. Boy Bacon is the old statesman in there, and Lorch has had his moments, but Butts is really the anchor of that defensive line.
Butts started a little bit slow after he came over from St. Louis. His first 2 or 3 years with the Redskins weren't much to speak of. But as Roger mentioned, he has really come on here the last few years to be a real anchor. 2nd and 11. Hart drops it off to Harrell. And Harrell is rushed out of bounds after picking up just a yard or two, no more than that, on the far sideline. Rich Malott, who is playing hurt, injured a shoulder against Dallas a couple of weeks ago, but the Redskins are just about out of linebacker, so he's having a play today. And he made the stop on Willard Harrell.
There's, of course, a lot of similarities, which are obvious because of Gibbs and Hannafin being with Coryell, but the concept they have with the back out in the flat, especially on 2nd down and in the first down area, the quarterback looks downfield. If he's got a wide receiver wide open, if it's a high percentage type throw, he'll take it. If not, he has the back out in the flat with either a guard or center pulling for him, and he's an outlet. And he's got an outlet almost on every passing play.
On 3rd and 10, the Cardinals go with 3 wide receivers. Hart under a lot of pressure, and Coy Bacon drags him down for the sack at the 39-yard line. Somebody missed a block there.
Yeah, Bacon was in a lot of quickness that time.
For 38 years of age, Bacon moves pretty well.
It's an inside move on Keith Workman. Bacon faked upfield, which is his best move, and cut back inside, and Workman just missed the box.
So a punting situation now for the St. Louis Cardinals, who have a 4th down and 17 upcoming from their own 41. And Birdsong drops back to do the punting. Virgil Say is deep. Good rush that time by the Redskins. Say going to let this one bounce, takes a Cardinal hop down the sidelines and inside the 10. That thing took off like a magnet, was pulling it toward the goal line. And the Redskins again start with poor field position, this time at their 9. Timeout. Back in St. Louis after this.
Now there are solar-powered telephone calls. Why? Well, in many of the world's more remote areas, it's highly impractical, if not impossible, to run telephone lines. And since our solar repeaters, which relay the calls via radio wave, get their power from the sun, no lines are needed.
Gee.
No, GTE.
This Bud's for everyone who's in the groove.
It's 5 minutes on the upswing of 5. Outside it's 87 degrees under sunny blue skies. Stay tuned for my man Flash. I'm moving out of here, having myself an ice cold brew.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
All you do is Bud's for you.
I know.
Wednesday, they were Hollywood's golden family. They lived the American dream until something went terribly wrong.
Everything will be different.
Haywire.
A short time ago in Atlanta, Joe Montana was leading the San Francisco 49ers. He had the Niners inside the 10. He pulled out, but he threw the ball directly into the arms of Tom Pridemore. And the Falcons defensive back returned it 101 yards for a touchdown. Atlanta now leading San Francisco 31-10. You'll see these Falcons next Sunday, doubleheader game against the Cleveland Browns. Right now, let's send you back to Frank Lieber.
Thank you, Brent. That's got to be one of the longest interception returns in NFL history. 101 yards by Pridemore. And Atlanta really taking charge now in that game with San Francisco and on the way to their 3rd victory. Our score, Cardinals 26, the Redskins 17. And the Redskins have the ball back at their own 8-yard line with a 1st and 10. Following the punt by Birdsong. Theismann, undaunted, comes out throwing. It's Ricky Thompson at the 20, and that should be good for the 1st down. Theismann took a pretty good shot on that play. He's been taking a little bit of punishment this afternoon.
Well, Favron, the linebacker, number 59, blitz and hit Theismann, but he got rid of the ball. He threw it to the outside nice and low. Thompson man-to-man on Carl Allen. Makes a nice grab for the 1st down.
Theismann now 9 out of 14. Here's the shot he took after he threw the football by Favron. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Metcalf, who has not been a factor in this game thus far. If anything, he's been a bit of a negative factor with a couple of fumbles out to the 25 or 26-yard line. So he has not made the celebrated return to St. Louis he had hoped for. Vikings, who showed very little last Monday night, are in front of Detroit 23-14 now in the 3rd period of that game.
They've got Kramer back in there, Frank. He's done a good job.
That was an emergency rush job. Of course, Atlanta with the 101-yard interception return. Up now 31-10. On 2nd and 3, Wilbur Jackson stopped short of the 1st down. One of the few times that's happened. Curtis Greer, number 75, making the stop.
Well, the Cardinals went into this game knowing the Redskins threw a lot, and they had 4 defensive linemen early in the game trying to put pressure on the quarterbacks, thinking they're going to throw more than they have today. Now they're back to their basic 3-man rush with 4 linebackers, and they're doing a better job against the run.
3rd down. Redskins still need a yard for the 1st down. A long yard. They're at their own 28-yard line. Jackson on the sweep, trying to turn the corner. It'll be close, but I don't think so, do you?
It's real close. That's when the official marks the ball. It's going to be that tight.
Lee Nelson and Carl Allen pursuing over there on the far sidelines. See if they bring in the change here. Official time. And apparently we will have a measurement. Theismann's over. Yeah, he's certainly signaling 1st down. Why do you want to bring him in, ref? Huh? We don't need him, right? I can see from here, right?
Just give it to us.
Joe will get into a discussion, won't he?
Yep. Good noted. make a sentence into a paragraph.
At least. That's short. Eyes are bad, Joe. Joe looked over at Joe Gibbs and gave him the indication, you know, a foot. And he wanted to go for it.
Yeah, he did. It's too early for that. That's why Joe's a quarterback and Joe Theis was a quarterback and Joe Gibbs is a coach.
Connell has come in to do the punting. Mike Connell has done a fine job kicking the football, with the exception of having one run back down his throat by Stump Mitchell in the first half. And the deep man is Willard Harrell, number 39.
Number 72 is out wide, the man that has to get downfield to stop the punt returner. He's only 235 pounds, Dexter Manley.
Harrell fading back to his 20. Straight up the middle, veers to the sideline, flag down. Harrell knocked out of bounds near the 40-yard line, but there's a penalty marker thrown back at the 28.
Well, number 40, Randy Love,
standing there with his hands on his hips, as if to say, not me. Certainly you couldn't mean me.
Well, it's between Love and Collier. Both were in the area of a push or a clip. It's a big swing and field position back. They're on the 42-yard line with the first down. They'll be backed up now probably inside the 20. It's a big difference when you're moving an offensive team as far as your play selection when you're inside that 20-yard line.
Illegal block above the waist from behind, number 40. First down.
Well, let's see if we can pick it up here. Randy Love, number 40, out of the University of Houston. He's on the left-hand side of your screen.
Well, he's a great specialty man. There he is pushing right back, right there, pushing Dexter Manley, number 72.
Timeout with 6 minutes and 27 seconds left in the third period, and the Cardinals leading 26-17.
Summer's gone, and guess who's just around the corner? But before old man Winter's fuel bills get you, it's Think Pink time. Just enough time for you to get Owens Corning fiberglass insulation and add an extra money-saving layer to your attic. Think Pink time is now. Get your pink Owens Corning today.
From a country that designed the Concorde, there is a car. From the first people to fly so far into the future, now there is a car. Engineered and crafted with a rare feeling for luxury, this car is remarkable. So why drive an ordinary car when you could command the Renault 18i, the newest achievement from Europe's leading builder of cars? Renault, where great engineering lives in great design, at Renault and American Motors dealers.
Frank Lieber with Roger Staubach back in St. Louis. There's the book so far, and Jim Hart. Not a spectacular day from a percentage standpoint, but I would say he's been very effective.
Well, that yards per attempt is in that 10-yard category, and that's excellent. Yards per attempt is really the criteria when you're looking at statistics for a quarterback.
1st and 10 following the penalty on the kick return from the 17-yard line. Anderson, no place to go, and he loses 4 in the play. Back to the 13. Good job that time on the right side of the Redskin defense. Just completely shut the door on him. San Diego now with a 2-touchdown lead over Kansas City. Just checking the NFL record book on Tom Pridemore's 101-yard interception return in Atlanta. That is 1 yard shy of the all-time NFL record, which is 102, set by Bob Smith and held by Erich Barnes and Gary Barbaro. And Richie Pettibone, who is the Redskins defensive coordinator, once ran one back, 101. He was a little lighter at the time. 2nd and 15.
He doesn't look so dark now, Frank.
That's not what I mean, Roger. I mean around
he
the
is
middle.
a little bit bigger.
Yes, he doesn't look like a defensive back anymore, does he?
He's a tough football player. When he was back with the Bears and championship days with Mike Ditka back in '63, Richie's done a good job with this defense. They have some injury problems with Coleman out, and of course Malott is coming back with some shoulder problems, but he's back in there, and they've got a solid defense, but not a lot of depth.
Now they got the 5 they lost in the previous play by Anderson, so we're now looking at 3rd and 10. St. Louis ball at the 17 where this series started. No scoring here in the second half. Hart over the middle. Willard Harrell out to the 30.
That's a big play there, 3rd and 10, and Hart finds the open man. Harrell's man-to-man on the linebacker. Both wide receivers doubled, and Harrell puts a good move, fakes to the outside, breaks back to the inside, and Hart picks him up and gets him out of trouble. Before they had a 3rd and 27, and Hart hit the big 3rd down in the first half, going in for a touchdown. Now he does it again on 3rd and 10, backed up in his own territory, and he beats number 54, Kevin Turner, who had him man-to-man, and he faked it to the corner, broke back to the middle of the field, and that was it. Good play, good pass by Hart.
Hart very cool standing back in the pocket on that last play despite a lot of pressure.
Good protection.
1st and 10 from the 37. Hart back in the pocket over the middle. Steve 50, 40, and down to the 35-yard line. Dave Steve, who played his college football at Portland State, same school that Neil Lomax went to, and who's been having a little bit of a trouble finding a home here.
Hart's looking around the field right here. Those linebackers are dropping back, looking at the quarterback, and he comes late over the middle. He's looking to the left side. He gets Olkowitz out of position, who came over to take number 89, and of course Hart went downfield to Steve, and an excellent throw, but he looked off Olkowitz, the middle linebacker, number 52.
Steve is not quite big enough to be a tight end, and he's not quite fast enough to be a wide receiver, so he's one of those in-between players, but still a handy man to have around, particularly today when Pat Tilley has not been that much used to the Cardinals because of back spasms. 1st and 10 from the 34. Anderson gets it down to the 30 and drives forward to the 29. That last pass play, by the way, was good for 29 yards to Steve. So the Cardinals driving here late in the 3rd period, 3 minutes left to go in the quarter, and they lead 26-17. Officials mark the ball just inside the 30-yard line. It'll be 2nd down 5. Anderson needs just over 900 yards this year rushing to become the Cardinals' all-time leading rusher in just 3 years. This is Wayne Morris. Needed tried to crawl for the 1st down. Stopped a couple of yards short. At the 27-yard line, he needs to net just inside the 25 to pick up the 1st. So it'll be 3rd down, a long 2.
Kevin Turner 54 and Olkowitz 52 had good pursuit. Morris had nowhere to go.
Tampa Bay and Chicago tied in the 2nd period. Don't forget the Cardinals at Tampa next week. And that's where Roger and I will be. It'll be 3rd straight week you'll have seen the Cardinals.
This is the best they've looked in the last couple of weeks, that's for sure. They're moving the ball very well in offense, and Jim Hart's mixing it up, throwing the ball well. That's a good Redskin defense.
On 3rd and 2, Anderson drives up the middle for the 1st down at the 23-yard line. Big O.J. Anderson.
Good blocking at the point of attack this time. Terry, Stevie, number 68, and Brahaney, 51, and Bostek's the first time the Cardinals really have made anything up the middle, which is the gut of a defense. If you make things up the middle, you can make things happen in the running game up the middle. It opens the wide game. They haven't, and they haven't been able to go wide. And overall, the rushing game for St. Louis is not very good today.
Pittsburgh really pouring it on the New York Jets. Frank Pollard scoring that latest touchdown on a 2-yard run. Anderson's been held in check today, as well as anybody's held him in check. He has not had historically outstanding games against the Washington defense. Wayne Morris up the middle inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. 50 seconds left in the 3rd quarter as the Cardinals continue to drive. This drive started back at the 18-yard line. Following a punt, there's the time ticking away here in the 3rd period at Busch Memorial Stadium. Beautiful fall afternoon.
The Redskins have held opponents to 113 yards passing per game, and so far St. Louis has thrown for 220. That's been the difference in offense for St. Louis.
2nd down 5. It'll be the last play of the 3rd period, and Wayne Morris jets cuts up the middle and has another first down at the 11-yard line as the clock ticks down the final 5 seconds of the third period of play.
Well, Brahaney, 51, did a good job and got Butts, blocked him and turned him out, and Morris shot up the middle.
That's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Cardinals 26 and the Redskins 17.
There is just one place where you can go from high school to flight school. The Army.
All that you can be. Oh yeah. Keep on reaching. Keep on growing.
Today's Army has more pilots than the largest airline.
All that you can be.
Not bad for a rookie.
'Cause we need you in the Army.
Nobody thought the Duck could do it, but Duck Dugan did it. Looks like a strobe-light night.
Looks like a strobe-light night. Looks like a strobe-light night. When things are going right. Looks like a strobe-light night. Looks like a strobe-light night.
Strobe-light, a great tasting beer that doesn't fill you up.
Looks like a strobe-light night when good times come along.
Next weekend on CBS Sports Saturday, he was one of the most feared men in boxing. Now he must prove himself again and again. Roberto Duran, next weekend on CBS Sports Saturday.
Well, after a wide open first half offensively, things slow down to a crawl here in the third period as neither team scored. And St. Louis leading Washington heading into the final quarter now 26-17. The Cardinals driving for what would be a very important touchdown. Jim Hart spending the time between periods conferring with his head coach Jim Hanifin. Hanifin, a very popular choice last year as the new head coach of the St. Louis Cardinals. He of course had been the offensive line coach under Don Coryell and a great favorite with the players. 1st and 10. St. Louis is at the Washington 12-yard line. Wayne Morris out of bounds at the 9 for a pickup of 3. Morris was just a 5th-round draft choice out of SMU when he came up, and a very durable back. CBS Sports Saturday, don't forget the big fight. Roberto Duran, second step in his comeback trail against the Italian welterweight champion. Actually, he's the European welterweight champion, making his first start in the United States, Luigi Menchilo. And Duran's in good shape, I hear.
He's in excellent shape. He's going to need it. It's going to be hot out in Las Vegas. It should be a tough fight, but Duran is ready for it, he said. Talked to him the other day.
Second down from the 9. Morris to about the 6-yard line. Cardinals have to reach, well, call it the 2, just inside the 2 to pick up a first down. So it's 3rd down, 4 for the first, 6 for the touchdown.
I didn't really talk to him the other day, Frank, but I read a clipping. Was going to have breakfast for him, but he didn't show.
He did not show. Stood you up, did
but he is really in tip-top shape, and he's anxious to make a comeback from the Leonard fight. His last fight was a good one, and he's on the road again.
Our director, John McDonough, did talk to him and verifies that he's in good shape. Even watched the fight the other night. With him. Big play, 3rd and 4 from the 6-yard line. Over the middle, touchdown to Steve.
Well, I'll tell you, Hart had number 81 Fisher and Steve looked like they had a mix-up. Either Fisher didn't go deep enough. He brought Parrish in there, and Hart threw it. I don't think he saw Parrish, and he snuck it in there on Murphy. Murphy was confused, I think, when Fisher was coming across. They had a mix-up. Watch Murphy, number 89 right here. Of course, he gets blocked out a little bit by Lavender, number 20, who was on Fisher. But there was a little confusion on the Cardinals' part, but Hart just drilled it in there anyway, and Steve made a nice catch.
And threw the ball into the 3rd deck. He's got a pretty good arm. Donahue adds on the extra point.
Plus a pretty good find.
And the Cardinals really take command with that long touchdown drive. They score in the first minute of the final period to lead it by 16.
I think we're lost.
I know we're lost.
You'll never get there. We're going to be late. We're going to be late.
At times like this, it's nice to have a front-wheel drive Toyota pulling for you.
It's just over the hill. There it is, gentlemen.
The Toyota Corolla Tercel, Toyota's lowest priced car. The Toyota Tercel, a car that pulls its own weight.
And a little bit more.
What a feeling, Tercel, Toyota.
Let the Radio Shack TRS-80 Model 3 business computer increase your manager's productivity. So when you need that report...
Tomorrow by 9.
You'll get it. Because the TRS-80 provides instant information access, simplifies planning and projections, prepares error-free documents through word processing. It's the professional, affordable management tool. TRS-80 Model 3 from $24.95 only at Radio Shack, the biggest name in little computers.
Monday, Brentwood hosts a slumber party.
I think that we should serve potato chips, pretzels, hot dog.
Might I suggest a dry red wine?
Jim Hart, who has just rifled his third touchdown pass of the afternoon, 33-17. However, keep in mind we have almost a full quarter to go. And remember what happened in Green Bay last week. They were ahead 17-0 heading into the final period. Metcalf gets it out to about the 22 or 23-yard line.
Surprising what an offense could do to a specialty team also. They're fired up and coming down strong.
Well, again, specialty teams have played a big part in this game, mostly on the negative side for the Redskins, who have allowed the Cardinals a 50-yard punt return for a touchdown. A lot of penalties in the first half, but that's eased off somewhat on both sides here in the second half of play. But obviously now Theismann will have to open up. He's only thrown it 14 times today, in contrast to 48 each of the last two games. Wilbur Jackson.
That's a bit surprising. They're back in with their two tight ends and two wide receivers, which has done a good job for them running the football. But 33-17, they're going to have to get the ball in the air and hit some big plays.
Tim Carney, number 56. Ken Green, number 37 on the stop. They've been sending Jackson to the left an awful lot. They must have spotted something there in the Cardinal films this week. Wilbur Jackson has now gone over 100 yards rushing.
He had about 80 of those yards in the first quarter, didn't he?
He did, yes. I think we had him at 86 yards at the end of the first quarter. Second down, 7. Theismann trying to set up the screen. Does so. But not much running room on the far side.
Russ Brown, number 69, got out there, and they tried to juke him a little bit, but he was right there and planted his feet and did a good job.
Tight end screen to Greg McCrary, number 84. Unsuccessful. It'll be third down at 11. And the Cardinals go with their version of the nickel defense, and the extra defensive back is that handyman Roy Green, who has been everywhere today.
Worley comes in.
Third down, 11. Possession down here for the Redskins, back at their own 20. And trailing 33-17. Almost picked off. Ken Green, number 37. Thought he had a touchdown there. Intended for Art Monk. And the Redskins will have to punt. To the hand now for the Cardinal defensive unit as they come off the field. And Connell comes back in to do the punting. Next up for the Redskins, the Eagles in Philadelphia next week, and though without Wilbert Montgomery, who is out with a muscle pull, you would think the deck would be stacked against the Redskins. Lost their first two at home and aren't in very good shape here in the fourth period today. Connell fumbles the snap and is down at the 12-yard line. E.J. Jr., number 54, with the big rush. But Connell simply bobbled that snap. And by the time he got it under control, he was dead.
Well, he might have looked up and saw E.J., but he just dropped the ball right there, and it was too late. He couldn't do anything. Stafford Mays, number 76, was in there, and, of course, Jr. threw him to the ground.
So the Cardinals getting ready now to apply what could be the coup de grace to the Washington Redskins, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Your day is long and your work is hard, and your boots say Acme. Your boots say Acme. Your boots say Acme. Your boots say Acme, the real West.
This month, Denny's Grand Slam breakfast is once again only $1.99. 2 large eggs cooked in real butter. 2 sausage links, plump and juicy. 2 strips of bacon, crisp and sizzling. And 2 buttermilk pancakes, hot and fluffy, served with hot syrup and whipped butter. It's Denny's Grand Slam breakfast, but the special price only lasts through the end of this month. Denny's. You'll like our prices and you'll love our food.
Frank Lieber with Roger Staubach back at Busch Memorial Stadium. Cardinal cheerleaders hooping it up, and well they might, with their team leading 33-17 and threatening to turn another Redskin turnover into a score. Ball is at the 13-yard line of the Washington Redskins. Hart, who has thrown 3 touchdown passes. Think he'll come out firing here?
Well, on a turnover, it's a good time to try to hit a big play.
Anderson up the middle to the 6-yard line. Pickup of 7. It'll be 2nd and 3. Well, Anderson's starting to pick up some yardage. You know, one thing that the Redskins defense has done well today is slow him down.
It's slowed him down. That middle's been strong. It's been a little bit vulnerable here the last part of the 3rd quarter and the start of the 4th quarter.
The way things are going, I don't think those 250,000 are going to be back in Washington to welcome the Redskins home after their flight. It has kind of fallen apart defensively. Special teams, fumbles, penalties. Same old story. Not much there this time around, as Anderson is slowed at the line of scrimmage. Coy Bacon, number 79, had him in the grasp. 3rd down, still needing 3 for the 1st down, and San Diego is starting to pull away, it looks like, from Kansas City, even though that game is just in the 2nd period. Chargers get that offense going. They are awesome.
Yeah, it's without Jefferson.
What do you think of Jefferson in Green Bay, if he does wind up there?
Well, they'll have 2 of the real premier receivers. James Lofton's excellent, and Lynn Dickey's coming into his own. He's a fine quarterback, so they'll have 2 excellent receivers and could make a move in that Central Division.
3rd and 4 from the 6-yard line. They have to net the 2 for the 1st down. Here's Anderson, cuts back, driving for the goal line, and he's over.
Well, he did a good job there. He started to his outside, saw the inside chance, and he took it, and he went north and south and bowled into the end zone. Watch him. They bottled him up pretty much there. He went to the outside, saw the inside move. He was going for the 1st down. Then he went all the way for the touchdown. Here's another shot of it. Butts gets blocked out real well by Deerdorf. Comes back inside and runs over Jarris White, number 45.
O'Donoghue to try to make it 40. 11 minutes, 16 seconds left to play in the football game. Cardinals lead it 40-17. We'll return after this word from your local station.
Why is television the way it is? Some answers from Hollywood and Madison Avenue when 60 Minutes unveils a brand new story tonight on CBS.
This is CBS.